Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach 2022, and it's going to be the round 12 review. This is going to be take 2 for this one. I'm mad. I'm salty because I recorded this last night, but for some reason my recording software just decided not to work. It wasn't working the whole time I was talking. So yeah, this is gonna be a redo. But as you can see, we got 1140. It was a rough week with some big scores. We got saved with a couple of decent scores. I mean, you'll see the team's all stuffed up because I'll talk about it in a second. But there was some really good, like, average scores, but there was some bad scores. It was a weird week. We're already going into it with a bit of a weakened side without Tamalolo and Harry Grant, so two guns not playing. Pengai Jr. pulled out late. It was a bit of a shit show. But I've been pretty fortunate the whole season thus far. Haven't really dealt with too many injuries in many of the weeks, so it's been, I've been pretty fortunate. This was the first week that we've had to sort of scrounge together the team. But 1140, I think, that's about par. I think 1150 was probably about average for sort of the top 1,000 anyway. There were definitely some big scores. There were definitely some low scores. But as you can see, the rank, we only dropped 123 spots, which is fine. I was definitely expecting some red arrows, but only dropping 100 spots. We've been bouncing around sort of 400 to 700, like just up and down the last few weeks. So it's very, very tight in the top probably 5,000, like I keep saying. But let's have a look at the team. So, like I said, I recorded this last night, so I already switched the team for round 13. But we'll quickly go through how the points played out. Tom Starling, let's just say, fuck Ricky Stewart. What the hell are you doing? This just sort of put the icing on the cake at the end of the round. Just watching that Raiders game, Ricky Stewart keeping Wolford on for like 55 minutes straight. I mean, he's a decent young player. He looks fine, but I don't think he ran the ball once. He made his tackles, but like, Tom Starling is a very good dummy half. I don't get it. Dude. Hopefully, we copped the 28 because I had to play him over Harry Grant, obviously. He only played like 20 minutes, so, he at least got out there and did some work, which was okay. I was sort of hoping maybe he would just keep him off for the whole 80 for some goddamn reason. I would cop an AE, but it didn't happen. So we copped the 28 there, whatever. Hopefully, maybe Ricky, I don't understand why he would, but maybe he was resting him for this week. I don't understand why he would do that, but surely after playing Wolford for so many minutes straight this week, Tom Starling can play some big minutes. I just need him to get like 50 points this week and then he's gone. I don't know who I'm going to get in for him, but there's a couple of options that I'm thinking of. So yeah, Starling, please just come out this week and play some minutes. Goddamn Ricky Stewart, dude. Pain of my existence, dude. Or the bane, I should say. Pengai Jr., like I said, was out, so we played Max King and obviously Papali'i. Papali'i, once again, just so consistent. Playing through the middle, didn't quite have the same impact in terms of attacking stats, but just got through so much work. And then Max King, 63. Oh, it felt good. Obviously, without Pengai, I wasn't that concerned having to play King. I was like, he'll get his 40, 45, and that'll be fine. Pengai can get 40s as well if he's not going well. So I wasn't too disappointed. But then King comes out and plays huge minutes. He was honestly set for like a big score. And I don't know how many minutes he would have played, but unfortunately, I think it was like 20 odd minutes to go in the game, he copped a head knock. Went off for a HIA and then just didn't. I don't think he came back on the field. He might have been due for a sub anyway, but he was looking really good. He was getting through mounds of work, couple of offloads. it was nice. So, again, if he can play some decent minutes around 13, he's definitely on the chopping block in the coming weeks. And then, Papali'i, like I said, the back row was fantastic. So I brought in Olakau'atu. I can't remember the commenter that mentioned it. Apologies, but someone did say you should get rid of Josh King and swing Olakau'atu in for him, and that's what I ended up doing. And it was great. He got 70 points. He was so close to a couple of big attacking stats, but he pretty much got that 70 in base. Looked really good. Without Tom Trebojevic, he's sort of the main target. Him and Schuster are going to be sort of their go-tos on the edges now, because they're just so powerful. And, he's great round 13, so I've got another round 13 coverage. He's honestly one of the best round 13 players, and he's probably a keeper till the end of the year, if we're being honest. He's averaging 64. That's keeper status in my mind in the back row. Angus Crichton with the 84, Nat Butcher with an 83. My two Rooster back rowers killing it. It was so good. Butcher, I was watching that game. Butcher with the try down the wing. I couldn't believe it when it was him that caught it and scored. It was beautiful. And then Angus Crichton threw a beautiful offload for a try assist. I think he got the try assist for that, but it just worked out beautifully, that one. And to top it off, Angus Crichton is not in the blue squad. So I'm a genius, basically. It was a few weeks ago. I've talked about this, but the nonsense that happened. I can't remember who I got rid of, but I was bringing in Olakau'atu to start with. Then Olakau'atu got ruled out just before the game. Then I went for Tupanua. Tupanua got ruled out before the game. So I just sort of cut my losses, brought in Crichton. He was at his bottom dollar price. He got the back row spot back. So I was like, you know what? He'll probably play Origin, but he's a keeper if he maintains the edge role, and he doesn't play Origin. So everybody's going to bring in Crichton this week. Well, most people, and I've already got him. It's beautiful. Talakai was a 65, solid, very solid. Like I said, he's got the center wing status. Next week, I'm definitely going to be swinging him down to center wing, and probably trading out Tui Pilotu is probably first to go, but we'll decide what happens there. Adam Elliott with a 45. Again, fuck Ricky Stewart. It's just, I don't... The interchange for Stewart is just so nonsense at the best of times. Like, he keeps the reserve forwards out there for way too long. And obviously, I'm salty about the Supercoach stats, but also just as like watching the Raiders, it's so frustrating watching their bench forwards play such big minutes. And you can just see the Raiders, they falter at the end of games nearly every week, and it's no surprise because he just keeps the bench forwards out there for so long. They lose all momentum, and then Elliott, I've never been a fan of Elliott. I've said it many times, but he's been really good at lock for the Raiders this year. He plays the first 25-30 minutes strongly, gets them going forward, has a couple of offloads in him, and then he doesn't come back until 15 minutes to go. It's like, what are you doing? It doesn't make sense. But again, if Ali can just bang out a 50 points, it's still a good trade, I think. I got him for 375. I think I moved on to Alungi, who was definitely faltering. He's around 13 coverage, and then he's made some decent coins. So, at the end of the day, it's been a pretty good trade regardless. If you can get some points in round 13. And also with Papali'i is I think he's the only one missing, but that does mean some more minutes hopefully for Elliott in the middle. Our halves were pretty darn good. The halfbacks didn't do great. Nathan Cleary 58, so I had the captaincy on Cleary. I had vice captain on Munster, and I was definitely tempted to loop Munster. I actually thought he would get upgraded to a few more points, but he just sort of held fast on the 112. Nathan Cleary, he was so close to scoring. The Cowboys defense, dude, I was happy but also sad. It was good to see the Cowboys, hold strong. They had no ball in that game, but they kept the Panthers to a pretty respectable score with the amount of possession they had. Cleary, he took the line on so many times and got held up. I was like, come on, just let him score one. he would have got a big score, but 58 as captain, it's not the worst thing in the world. Nico Hines with a 51, and then Dylan Brown, 110. Oh man, he is just absolutely killing it. And it makes up for Cody Walker, I think, got a big 100 as well, which again, he didn't look good. Like, it was the last, 15 minutes, but they put on a few points. He got a try. He got a couple of tries, actually. But Dylan Brown sort of counteracted the Cody Walker big points. And honestly, I think my halves are set. Munster and Brown are definitely my keepers till the end of the year, I think. Brown's going to play round 17. Beautiful bye coverage. And then Munster is obviously going to stay in the team. So I think my halves are pretty much set. Cleary's going to stay there, and then Hines. It's just a matter of ideally you would like to keep Hines at halfback, but we'll see how we can sort of swing things with the fullbacks, because I don't actually have a gun fullback at the moment. Going into the back line, Ruben Garrick 67, pretty solid considering they got 8 points and he missed both kicks. So, that's good signs. Him playing fullback gets through a lot of work. Isaac Tago 58, Taylor Mace 68, and then Kiraz 29. Tui Pilotu, who I didn't play, Valia, who I didn't play, both got 50s, which is, it's good. They're both going to make money. Hopefully they can just bang out 50 again in round 13. And then, like I said, Tui Pilotu is probably the guy I'm going to get rid of, because he's definitely peaking in price. He's honestly probably been my best decision to purchase. He's made me so much cash. He already had that initial bump to 275k, but I got on him after that, or just before he went bang, and he's got some great points for me. I've played him the last few weeks. He's got 60s and 70s. He's been one of the best purchases I've got. Is he still a pod? I don't think that many people own him still. He's in 12% of teams as of now, but yeah, a couple of weeks ago he was still very, very heavily, low ownership. But yeah, he's probably the first to go, because I think Garrick, Tago, and May are probably keepers. Maybe. I don't know. It's going to be tough to get rid of. Well, Garrick especially as a keeper. Tago and May, I don't know. I mean, they're averaging 60 and 70 apiece. It's how do you get rid of them until they start falling off? And I just don't see the Panthers falling off anytime soon. So yeah, I don't know. I think Tui Pilotu, without Tom Trbojevic, the tries are going to ease up. He did get saved last week with a late try. So I think Tui Pilotu is definitely the good choice to swing Talakai down, and Tui Pilotu I can pretty much, I can get another gun second rower, so it works out pretty nicely. And then our fullbacks, so Suwali 20, he did go off. I think he had 20 minutes to go on that game. He had that head knock and had to go off, so he wasn't looking for a big score anyway, but yeah, disappointing. He only got the 20 points. And then Cooler with the 35, who I didn't play either. So yeah, it was overall a really consistent week, but yeah, we just didn't nail the captaincy, which sort of screwed us, and then a couple of guys let us down, like Suwali and Starling. But that's pretty much it. I mean, Keraz as well, but he got 29 points, didn't really do anything, so it's not. He wasn't that bad. I don't think he's a keeper, but I think he's got some points in him. But yeah, so I've got the team set up for round 13 now. And at the moment, I've got vice captaincy on Ruben Garrick and captaincy on Crichton. It's a tough one. I would love to have the captaincy on Ola Kawatu, but that means I can't vice captain Garrick. I would have to vice captain a Bulldog or a Panther, because I don't have any Cowboys or Titans. So I could vice captain Tago, May, or not Kiraz, but I vice captain Pengai. There's some options, but I feel like Garrick is a great vice captain option, and Crichton or Butcher are really safe captaincy options. But this is my conundrum. So I've got heaps of players. Tom Starling. So one, I'm not sure. Like Tamalolo, I think he's expected to play. So we'll name him for now. Pengai Jr. I would expect to play. Like he was out with back spasms, so you would hope he backs up this week. Otherwise, I'll be pretty salty. So got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No halves. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And this is where the team... I've got so many backs playing. I've got 15, but then I can't even play cooler because all my back spots are filled up. I guess I could... No, I can't even swing... Actually, no, I could do that. It doesn't actually matter. I could swing Tago with Talakai. Actually, would that even change it? Because if I swing Tago to Talakai... Tago would have to be another reserve. I would bring... I don't think that would change it, would it? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter regardless because I'll get the loophole anyway. So I've got 15. Cooler or whoever I don't reserve will be the AE. So I'll get Cooler's points because, yeah, if you get a 0 score in your team, you just get your lowest player that played. So he's my only other player. Unless Billy Smith plays, which I don't think. And also Ben Travoy, which I don't think he's named. But so I've got 16 players for round 13. So the only 2 targets are Drinkwater and Joey Manu. But in all honesty, I don't really want to bring either of those 2 into my team long term. But they are really good round 13 targets. And the biggest thing is that vice captaincy and captaincy, because both of those guys potentially could be the highest scoring players, especially if Manu was playing fullback. You know, he's done many big things at fullback before, but they are taking on the Raiders at GIO Stadium with a pretty much full strength Raiders team. I mean, they're missing Wyden and Papali'i, but they're not that bad off. And then the Cowboys are taking on the Titans, which is a juicy matchup for Drinkwater. But I don't want them. That's the real kicker. I'm like, oh, I don't want either of those guys long term. Because honestly, I mean, Manu is probably the only guy I would sort of want long term. But then I would have to get rid of one of my guys that's playing. I could get rid of Billy Smith. Yeah, I could get rid of Billy Smith, but that would mean I'd have too many backs. I'd have too many backs, so I'm torn. I honestly feel like I might just not make a trade this week. Hope that like Garrick can go big, or if I decide to go with Tago or May vice captain and Ola Kawatu as captain. Hopefully my vice captaincy doesn't really stuff me up, because you do get 2 cracks of it this week, and just pray that Drinkwater and Manu don't go like 150, because my buy planning will just be gone. If that happens, I'll just be stuffed because I don't want them. I don't want them in the team. I don't need any more round 13 players, and I would like to save the trade. So I'm thinking I just don't make any trades this week, and but it is a risk. It's gonna be a risk, because if we look, the only thing it seems like there's a bit of talk that potentially Suwali might get the fullback spot over Manu, which I don't see happening, but I heard that, I saw it on Twitter from a few people. But if we look, what am I looking at? Well, let's just, so Manu, I mean, Manu's not bad, honestly. I think out of both these guys, Manu is the guy I would get. He's now in 24% of teams. He's averaging 66 for the season. That's very good. Got 77 this week. I think you know what? I think if Manu is named at fullback, I think I'm going to go him. I just think it's a bit too... It's just a bit too risky not to have him for this bye, because all my planning, all my good stuff so far could be diminished if I don't have Manu. But if we go down to Drinkwater, and this is the reason why I don't really want Drinkwater, he's definitely gone off the boil a little bit. And don't get me wrong, like it's been a couple of tough... I mean, they flogged the Storm, but it was always going to be a very tough matchup against... very tough matchup against the Panthers. So it's not surprising that he struggled. But what did he get? Where the hell is he? There he is. He got 12 points. You know, he's averaging 67. He's been killing it. But I mean, they take on the Titans, which is such a juicy matchup, but they're going to be missing... They're missing a lot of strike. They still have a pretty good team overall, but they are missing some strike. And I think I'm definitely not getting both, but I think Manu is the way to go. And as much as... Honestly, I think maybe Cooler is the guy to go. I can get Manu in at fullback for Cooler, and I think that's probably the way to go, right? Because the other thing I was thinking about for future planning is I've got Suwali in fullback for now, but I think Pappenhausen is due back pretty soon, and obviously with this injury he wasn't considered for Origin, so you wouldn't expect him to get a bench spot later. It would be a bit of a weird one if he got picked. So bringing Pappenhausen back, trading out Suwali for Pappy is definitely on the radar for potentially next as soon as he's back. So we could just trade Cooler for Manu, and then the only problem is that Manu is the fucking... He plays in the last game of the round, so I don't know, dude. I'm torn. I'm gonna stew on this for the next couple of days, and I'll have to make a decision, because I would love not to, but the other thing is that Manu is probably a keeper in the center wing for the end of the year. He's going really well, and I think the Roosters they're gonna start hitting some more consistent form, and Manu's gonna be a big part of that. So. I don't know. Manu is probably the way to go, but we'll decide. We'll decide in a moment what we do there. But yeah, hopefully guys are enjoying the Supercoach content. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.